All right, juniors. Hi, it's Mr. Mert. I'm going to walk you through documents 4 and 5. So get out your packets. If you haven't done these documents, answer the questions yet, then by all means stop this video and do them. That way you're checking your work rather than me just doing all the work for you. I hope you guys are doing well. And let's take a few minutes to go through some of these actions taken by different states during the Progressive Era. So document 4, state actions affecting working conditions. You have different dates and then different things that they did, that the state did in response to these problems that were created out of industrialization and whatnot. So based on this document, identify two examples of how the state action resulted in the improvement of working conditions. And as you go down through this document, you'll see things like Wisconsin limited the number of hours women and children could work. You could write that. Automatic sprinklers were installed in tall buildings. Fire escapes were put up. Remember the video we saw on the Triangle Shirtwaist fire? None of those things really existed at that time. So these different codes and these different laws that were passed definitely improved the conditions in the workplace. Minimum wage laws were passed. Safer working conditions were put into place. In New York, fire escapes and fire drills were required. All of those different things could be put down for either 1 and 2. You had to pick two of those things, two examples. Let's move on to the second document, document 5. So document 5 is child labor from 1870 to 1930, and the percentage of children aged 10 to 15 employed. As you can see, it peaks in 1890, 1900, at around 18%, meaning 18% of children between the ages of 10 and 15 worked. Worked in factories, worked in harsh working conditions and different things like that. We talked about this in class. Do you remember? Well, what was one of the main reasons why children worked? And if you guys can remember, one of the main reasons was the families needed the money, right? Maybe mom or maybe dad or maybe both mom and dad couldn't work. They were injured, or single parent families. There was all sorts of different reasons. Or maybe they were employed, but they just could not make enough money to provide for the family, which often resulted in children from ages 10 to 15 working in the factories and working in these harsh working conditions, and poorly lit factories with the poor ventilation and all these hazards that existed in these factories. Notice how it peaks here and then it drops off tremendously. And the main reason for that drop off, as you can probably imagine, is they started to outlaw it. They started to pass laws saying that no, children cannot work at that age. And there were a lot of families who fought those laws because they needed the income from their children. So this was not an easy thing by any means to get accomplished. You had parents, you had mothers, you had fathers who depended on that source of income and really fought hard to be against those laws. So based on this graph, how did the use of child labor change between 1900 and 1920? So here's 1900, and here's 1920. And as you can see, all right, it is going down. So you could write child labor decreased. Not as many children between 10 and 15 worked. Child labor increased before 1900, then started to decrease. And like I said, it doesn't where it doesn't ask you why does it do this. We know the reason why is because they passed laws. They started passing laws banning or outlawing child labor, making requirements and different things like that here and there, as far as law went. And that'll get us through documents 4 and 5. So that leaves us, I think, with 3 documents, which we'll try to do either tomorrow on Monday. I'm not sure when we'll get them done. So we'll get those 2 done. Hope you're well. Hopefully we'll be back together sooner than you know. Enjoy and enjoy your weekend if I don't talk to you tomorrow.